Hey guys, Leona here with Empowering Wellness. It is Tuesday. I'm so excited. It is another amazing time with Ellen and our virtual book club. And as you see, I'm doing some pet sitting this weekend, so I'm in a new location tonight. I am going to share this into our group. If you have not had a chance to join our Empowering Wellness virtual book club, make sure that you have a chance to join us in there. And this week, last week we started off with our self-care with us, and this week we're going into the inner deeper work. And I'm so excited to have Ellen joining us to be able to go deeper into her now second step, because it is our second week, to be able to get her to come on. So I'm approving that. And we're getting on camera. And I'm going to find a stationary something to put my phone on. There we go. That way you guys can see me. So I'm going to bring her on camera one more time. Go ahead and come on. It's saying adding. I got my Love Guru shirt on because it is all about love and light. And I'm so excited because the Unstoppable You Summit is coming up. And both Ellen and I do believe, are back to back on day one on December 8th. So you're going to get lots of goodness from her and I on that day, which I'm so excited, on December 8th. I think my time is at like 1:20. So excited for that. And I'm really excited to be continuing with our broadcast with Ellen. So we're going to try this one more time. We are still in Mercury retrograde. And let's see. Yay!
Yay! We're on!
We did it.
Yay!
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
All right,
You were
great.
frozen there for a minute, but no, I
Perfect.
I got on, so I'm excited.
I
And I
don't
think you were talking about your summit, so I'm really excited about that too. So keep
yeah,
sharing.
I'm so excited. And I love that we're both on day one. So we get to both start off the summit with all about self-love and self-care on that day one. Yay. Hi, Tina. Welcome.
Yay!
So excited to have you here live with us for our virtual book club. I love the idea of getting together in a virtual book club because it allows for all of us from all around the world to get together. And especially as women, being in community is just so key. And so I love the fact that we're able to create this community space in order to do this. So it's so exciting. So welcome everybody to our second week of our virtual book club. Remember, there are 5 steps to becoming Unstoppable You that Ellen is taking us through. And both Ellen and I are going to be on the Unstoppable You Summit starting on December 8th, which I'm so excited. And she'll be putting her links in the bottom of here to join up and sign. And I know she also has an awesome gift to tell us about tonight as well. So I'm so excited for that. So yay, let's just deep dive right in. So welcome, Ellen. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Leona. How are you?
I am awesome. I just had a nice little walk in this beautiful neighborhood. I'm going to be pet sitting for the next few days for one of my clients. She has a great big shepherd, and I watched the beautiful sunset and got all the tour of all the stuff. So this will be my little oasis for the next couple of days. I love you on. You raise
What's
it
that?
frequencies and vibration. I said I love you have your Healy on you. You got
I do.
vibration. I love my foot frequency on my foot earlier today. All about having a high vibe tribe, right? And it all starts with us raising our frequency and vibration in order to create that ripple effect. So tell us, it's a grateful, thankful week, right? Like there's so much to be grateful for. I'm
It
so
is.
grateful
And
to have this.
sorry, I just keep talking over you. I think you're done.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I'll let you finish.
So I was just saying, I'm so grateful that we have this virtual book club in order to be able to connect with. I mean, this is the week about gratitude, right?
It
And
is.
tapping into taking time for ourselves, taking time for connection, taking time for community. Grateful. I'm grateful I get to stay in this beautiful house the next couple of days and play with a sweet little German Shepherd and spend time with my dad and family. So, yeah, a lot to be grateful for. And grateful that the Unstoppable You Summit is live and in action. We got our 25 speakers in 5 areas of life to becoming the Unstoppable You. So, of course, it's the perfect timing for Ellen and I to have a virtual book club with her books, and she's got the 5 steps to being unstoppable.
Yes. So I just want to briefly review my light formula. It is what I've used to pull myself back up from those times when we get anxious or overrun, and especially during the holidays. It just seems like there's so many demands on us. And I don't know about the rest of you, but for a long time, I had a lot of trouble saying no. And so this time of the year, saying yes and taking on even more things often left me overwhelmed and exhausted. And that's how I came up with my light formula and from my book, From Simply Surviving to Radically Thriving. So I think it's a perfect time as we get into the holidays to look at my book, to look at the light formula and see where we can empower you to thrive through the holidays versus just surviving the holidays. And I don't know, also, I mean, there were decades of my life that just felt like my life was a movie on fast forward. And when life is like that, it can be exciting going from one thing to another. Um, it can be draining. And it can be just a blur. And where you're not really making those deep connections, you're not connected with yourself. So your mind's saying one thing, like yes is coming out your mouth, and your body's screaming no. So the light formula is 5 steps to give you the freedom to really check in with yourself and decide what really serves you as well as serves the other person. So you have that balance versus you giving from a place of emptiness. You're going to hopefully give from a place of where your cup is full and you're giving out of love and out of, like you said, the high vibration. So the first step is L, and it is for love, and it's loving yourself, giving yourself that care that you need and that only you can do. The I is inner check-in, so that is what are going to talk about tonight. The G, though, is gratitude and grace, and we will be talking about that next Tuesday, but it will be after Thanksgiving. The H is healthy foundations, you know, rest, nutrition, hydration, movement, all of those things that you really do need to continue tuning in with your body and making sure that you're getting that foundation in, especially during the holidays. It's very easy to go off track with diets, but your body's not on vacation. Your body doesn't see it as a holiday when you're over drinking and overeating, and then your body's feeling sluggish and you're not feeling your best. So, finding that balance. And then the last one is T, and that's take time for joy. So let's dive into tonight's topic, which is the inner check in, which is chapter 1 in my book. And like I said, when life is on fast forward, when you're just running from one thing to the next, just getting to where you think you need to be, wherever that is, the antidote to that is simply taking a breath. I can't tell you the number of times over my life before I even actually knew what an inner check-in was that I would just, you know, say I needed to go to the bathroom just so I could lock the door and get away and get peace and quiet, even if it's for 5 minutes. Time to just breathe and allow my nervous system to just reset. And, as I know Leona knows, we have this sympathetic system, and it's our fight, flight, freeze, fawn. It's the go, go, go. It's the engine that drives us and gets us moving. But when that becomes chronic, that's where you end up with disease, which I know Leona has seen a lot of in her life and in her patients. Uh, just that exhaustion. And the parasympathetic system, on the other hand, is the rest and digest system. So, how many of you, after Thanksgiving dinner, you know, it's a wonderful meal, but then, yep, it's nap time because your body needs time to rest and allow all of that good food to digest and to be absorbed in your body. So, taking naps after dinner is a good thing, especially if you've overindulged and allowing your body to assimilate that. Some of the other things, tuning into the emotions. This can be a really emotional time of the year for a lot of people. Maybe there's been a death in the family, so you're missing a loved one and you're grieving. And that's a process that you need to allow your body to go through. Perhaps there's been life changes. You've moved. There's been maybe an addition to the family, a new spouse, a new baby. Maybe there's less people around because of distance, because people have moved. I've moved from Ohio to Florida last November. So last November, I spent Thanksgiving alone. This week, I'm grateful to go up and visit my brother and his girlfriend in South Carolina and spend my birthday weekend with them as well. So really, again, tuning in and finding out what works for you um, is the really biggest thing, and tuning into those emotions. There's a beautiful chart in the book. Um, and I have a page marked here. I don't know if you can see it or if it's backwards, but that's some of the most common emotions. And I know for myself, when I finally got out of my head and into my body, um, which Leon is great of getting people into their body and getting all that tension out of our muscles, and so that we can relax. And again, Tina, you're on. I see your text. If there's any questions or any comments you'd like to make, please jump in. Uh, but finding those emotions, and for me, it was like tension in my body, or my chest hurt, or my jaw hurt, or my legs hurt. I really didn't have a vocabulary for my emotions, so that's why I put it in the book, so that you maybe having the names will give you an option to discern what those emotions are. And then after that, the real power comes from tuning in and taking a breath into whatever that is: anger, sadness, hurt, grief, and just saying, what do I need right now? What are you trying to tell me? A lot of times, anger is that you've said yes to too many people and no to yourself, no to rest, no to one more commitment that you're going to be late for something or having to leave early for something else to squeeze something in. You know, you
Oh, we got a little bit of pause. I think you got a call that came through. Let's see. Hang on. Unpause yourself. You can't hear. I can hear you. So if you can hear me, is there a little pause, like a little microphone button at the bottom that you can hit to unmute yourself? If you can hear me, there's a little button down there with a microphone that has a slash on it right now. Hit that button and that'll unmute you. Because if you happen to have a call or something came through, sometimes that interferes in the transaction of stuff. So is there a little button down there that you see? Oh, you're completely paused. Well, I'm hoping that it's just going to be a temporary pause and she's going to come back on and find that little mute button to unmute herself. But yeah, the rest and digest. I think that most people don't realize that it only takes about 2 minutes to regulate your nervous system with deep breathing, and having that, like if you need to close yourself in a bathroom door, to have that time to be able to do the breathing, it's super key to do that. And I also love the fact that, like, if you don't know the emotion you're feeling, look at the emotion wheel to see it, identify it, and then maybe close your eyes and put your hands on where the area that you are feeling, and then close your eyes and breathe into it is a really great thing. And sometimes if you feel like there might be an emotion and you don't know how to get it out, and the breath work and the sport isn't working, sometimes I recommend watching like The Notebook or something that you know is going to like elicit an emotion for you to have a release. Sometimes that can be super huge by watching something or talking with a friend, or, you know, if you're a verbal external processor, to process what's going on in your body, to speak it out, to be able to release it. I think is such a key point on that rest and digest, is like honoring your body and the emotions that are coming through, and find what works for you, right? Because not everybody is going to be an ecstatic dance, you know, pushing their arms around like I am. Like when I get really super frustrated, I'm like, ah, and I just like got to shake my whole body and like move it out, because there's just like this stagnant energy that needs to go out. But not everybody processes that way, right? Like I'm an external processor. I like to talk and speak, right? So I always say you have to find what kind of works for you in order to find the method of your rest and digest process, of your finding what your emotions are, how you tap into them, you know, what that process is. So now that you're unfrozen, Ellen, do you see a little microphone button with a slash through it? Can you hit that and unmute yourself? No, I can't hear you. So at the bottom of their screen, there's like a little microphone, there's a slash. I've tried to push it, but it's not on my side. Can you push it on your side? Muted, and that's me unmuted. Does that make sense? So there's like a little buttons down at the bottom of the phone, and there's a little microphone. Yep, I think you got it. Go ahead and talk and see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why it was stagnant, but yes, and I've some of the stronger emotions like anger and frustration, they really do move better with movement, is what I've found. So you doing your ecstatic dance and yelling and letting it all out is a great way of getting those emotions out of the cells of your body, because otherwise they get lodged in our bodies, and that's what causes dis-ease or pain. So get those moving and feel some relief. Yeah, and so checking in isn't about fixing yourself. It's not about changing who you are. It is getting in touch with who you are and resonating that out into the world, that love and that vibration and that light that is within us. And I know for many years I hid who I was. I hid my light. Because I was afraid of being rejected or somehow criticized. And and when you do that, you just shrink smaller and smaller. And I'm not saying that you need to just be rude and spill out anything and everything that comes to mind. Some discernment is good. Um, and I do believe that the truth does set us free. And so if you can find a way to state the truth in a way that honors you and what's happening for you, um, and not with blame and shame to yourself or to anyone else, it can create a lot of freedom and a lot of great connection. Um,
I think finding a sounding board or someone that feels safe, you know, like a spiritual life coach, like a friend, someone who's like minded in, can be that sounding board to be able to speak your truth, to feel safe, to be seen, and then practicing maybe what you need to have a conversation with someone else that might be, you know, helpful to have a little rehearsal. Sometimes we need to rehearse how the emotions and how we want to process and do it, or we just unload and mouth vomit on people, right?
yeah, exactly. Oh, and one of my friends from grade school has joined us. Hi, Robert. Please put something in the chat if there's anything that you're grateful for, or when you check into your body, what your body needs, and anything we can support you with. And I know Leona and I both met through Genius Unlocked Coaching Institute. So we are both trained to help you get in touch with those old emotions that may be stuck in your body and find a way to get in there, clean them out, and give you more freedom and more joy, um, so that you can thrive, instead of just falling back into, because what happens with those old emotions, if we leave them in the body, um, and they just keep running old patterns as well. So if you're always reacting to, parents in a certain way or a sibling in a certain way, and you're dreading the holidays coming up, I am offering a free rapid release. If you book it before my the end of this month is my birthday special to all of you. It's a 90-minute session to go in and look at some of those old patterns and those beliefs and those emotions that you've been carrying around, maybe since you were a toddler, and we'll get those out of your body and give you more freedom and an ability to thrive this holiday season. Um,
And maybe tell them a little bit about maybe the process of a rapid release, because when I hear that, I know it, but for those
yes.
that aren't familiar, maybe you can tell them a little bit, a quick little synopsis of what kind of a rapid release looks like, so they would know what they're going to be looking forward to with you. And I love
Sure.
that offering for it, but I think a little clarity for people, I think, would be amazing. So how and why would people want to do a rapid release? What are some benefits?
So, how and why? Like I said, if you have old patterns of behavior, if you're dreading being with certain people over the holidays, because of these patterns that I mean, how often do people say, when I go back home, I feel like an 8-year-old? There's a reason for that. There was some emotion, there was some limiting decision or belief that you made about yourself at that age that you're still carrying with you. So when we seemingly regress to a younger age in our reactions and our interactions with particularly family members, because I think we choose our family and we choose it so we can grow and get out of these patterns. And it does take something, and that's what the rapid release is for. So when we meet, we talk about an issue or a situation that you are finding uncomfortable or would like to have more comfort and freedom around. We ask, I will ask you a series of questions to get at those negative thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that are in your unconscious mind. So you may actually not even be conscious of them, but through the questions that I ask, you will become conscious of them. And then we um, build up what you really do want, the positive side. So we look at all the negative and then we look at all the positive and see what you do want and how you do want to be and feel in these different situations. And then once we get both of those, the negative and the positive side, we have you blow all of those negative thoughts, emotions, beliefs into a red balloon. Then we work through a process where we go back and find the original time, and this could be in your lifetime, it could be in past lives. If you, even if you don't believe in that, there's an energetic pattern that may have been passed down through your family lineage that we can connect to. And then once we do that and we have everything in the red balloon releases and goes away with all of those negative thoughts, emotions, and beliefs out of every cell of your body. So we clean that energy system, and then we refill that energy with love and light, pure love and light. And once we do that, then we come back to the present time and we just test to see if those emotions are gone or not. And we test in the past and we test out into the future. And then we see if there's anything else that you need to learn from this. And your unconscious mind will give you learnings through the process as well. And that's what you take with you into the future. And then you do inspired action based on those um, learnings that you got. So
That,
anything else that you would add,
yeah,
Leona, to that?
exciting part for people is not only do they get to release it, but they get to have what they want and then aligned action steps that then propels and motivates them and moves them into that energy and direction that they're wanting go, because you already know what you need to do. It's just these things have been blocking. So once those blocks are removed, it's like this amazing energy and propulsion into the new you, and which is going to be the perfect time to do it at the end of this year to get you set for 2026. But the whole reason we did the Unstoppable You Summit was to have it in December so that people could have their programs, have their tools to make 2026 the most unstoppable year yet. So I love that you're offering these amazing rapid releases for people to have this opportunity to really truly let go and give that momentum and that propulsion, because 2026, when you look at it, I think it's the year of the horse. It's all about action and driving and moving forward and having motivation and that forward momentum. And this is what we're really trying to do now, is create and get rid of all that so that you're not getting blocked and you've got that expansiveness and that momentum going forward, which is just the perfect time of year to be doing it.
Yes, it is. And I understand that there are like higher vibrations coming into the planet in 2026. So the more that we can open up and clean out, I think of this as like cleaning your house, dusting and getting rid of what's no longer serving you in your home. And you do that routinely. And yet we very rarely routinely come in and clean out the inside where our soul is living.
Yeah.
So
And like
this is our option to do opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and it's the inner check week, right? So you're checking the insides of, gosh, there's a feeling that I'm not liking, but I think that there's a feeling I would like more, and having this momentum. And like, as soon as you clean that out, boom, you've got nothing but that whole momentum and that whole action moving forward, which is exactly what we're wanting to have for the new year and that new energy. So I do believe this is all divinely timed, and I'm so excited for it. So yeah.
And I do have a bonus gift as well, because I'm a have it all kind of girl. Um, I have a holiday thriving guide, so I will put the link below the video so you can um, download that as well. And it does have the light formula spelled out a little bit more and specific for the holidays. So if that will support you, I would love for you to download that. And I'm just an email away. So please just message me in Facebook if there's anything I can do to support you. I know several of my friends were on tonight. It's always good to see everybody. Sending hearts to you and love. And if there's anything, comments or any questions, we'll give a moment here for the people to put something in the chat.
Yeah.
And
And then I would say the final inner check, that the people are doing is, there's no right or wrong, right, with an inner check. It's just taking the time and the intention, the energy to actually do a self check-in. And since we have a week where there's a day that's actually supposed to be a pause, right? To be, to bring gratitude, to bring the awareness, like take some time before the family and all the friends givings and the Thanksgiving and all the things happen, and do that little inner check this week. See where you could bring in some more love and light, see where there could be more gratitude in it. It's really taking the time and energy and intention. And I know our homework for last week was to make sure we were doing some sort of self-care. And I wanted to tell everybody, my non-negotiable is I start my day with a 10-minute meditation, guided meditation, before I look at my phone, before text messages, before emails, before I get out of bed to pee, like before I do anything, I do this 10 minutes of meditation. And I started off with 5, and then I went to 10, and I wasn't very consistent. I'll tell you what, being consistent in meditation and a practice, setting your intention for the day, is probably one of the most powerful things that you can do. So if I could invite you guys to do that inner check in the mornings to see like how you're feeling, what you would like to improve on, and then just take a moment of like everything that is going right, like a little awesome report, a little gratitude, an awesome report for yourself can completely shift and change. And then if there's still something inner that you're needing to check on, go through. Find the emotions, breathe into it, go through the steps that are in the book. That's a perfect time to journal, perfect time to read your book. When you're fresh and really starting your day, I feel like there's this great intention and the energy, and it can shift your day one way or another, depending on how your day begins. And I would invite you guys all to just bring a little bit more of that awareness and really do that inner check this week and see how that feels. And I would love to have you guys put in the comments how you
Yeah.
guys feel, what came up for you, what self-love practices that you're doing. I'm having a new tea mixture that I'm loving, that I'm like breathing in and tasting and enjoying. Those are my things that I like to do for me on a more regular basis. So I'd love for you guys to keep sharing your self-love practices and what your inner check looks like. If it's a scan, you know, for me in Theta Healing, I do an energetic scan on someone, but I also, you know, forget that I can do it for myself and see where it is, right? Like, so if you're a practitioner out there and you do it for your clients all the time, remember you can scan
Do it for yourself.
and see what's going on.
Well, in like anything, the more you practice it, you know, you're not going to be a great guitar player or piano player the first time you sit down at an instrument. And yet, I think we put that pressure on ourselves to think that we just should know what we need or what we want, and without slowing down, without taking a breath and checking in and really seeing how your body's doing. um, and again, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, the faster it becomes, and then it just becomes automatic, like you with your meditation at 10 minutes every morning. You're tuning in, you're just allowing your body to reset and to align your body, mind, and spirit. And whatever that is, again, for you, like I can give you a lot of ideas and things that I've done in my life. And it is a process of trial and error, figuring out what really works and resonates with you and supports you. The other thing is, if you do have the book, um, Leona did mention journaling, and there are journaling pages in here, and there's little checklists you can have. There's a body. If you do scan your body and you find something, you can actually chart it on here, and then just answer some of the questions, like, what was your greatest challenge to being at peace? That's one question for the first day of this week. So, um, yeah, just asking your body what it needs and listening and doing something for yourself. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a whole day at the spa, although I did that in October and it was really fabulous. um, but it could be just 5 or 10 minutes of meditation. It could be a warm bath with a cup of tea. Um, just whatever brings you delight this holiday season. Takes Take a few minutes and do that.
Yes, I'd love for you to tell us the page number that that body chart is on, and take a
Yes.
put it in the comments and reference.
So the first one is on page 15, and there's one for every day of this week. So that could be your practice for this week, is just tuning in with your body and charting how your body's feeling.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Perfect. So, any final inner check-in, other tips that we want to share before we conclude for tonight?
Well, so many of us are brilliant at doing everything for everyone else. And I just encourage you, even in this busy time of the year, to take whatever minutes you can for yourself, whether it's shutting yourself in the bathroom, whether it's pulling the covers over your head in the morning, going to bed 10, 15, 30 minutes earlier, just so you can get some additional rest. Whatever that is that supports you to be your best and to be the thriver that you can be.
Yes, I love that, Dr. Ellen. And I will remind you all that every day is an attitude of gratitude, not just on Thanksgiving. And if you can start the day with something that you're grateful for, an awesome report for yourself. When you have a conversation, I have started finding, like, tell me something great that's going on in your life. Tell me something great that you're grateful for. Because so often, especially with like us girlfriends, we get together, we just and we're just venting and verbal processing all the things that are not going great and awesome. And so I've tried to now be cognitive and aware that there has to be that balance. And I want the awesome,
Yeah.
I want the gratitudes, I want the what's going on great with your life. So if that can encourage you this week to have a conversation with one of your friends and to ask them, what's going awesome in your life? What are you grateful for right now? You know, because then that brings that awareness. Not a lot of people are asking those questions, right? How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Oh, the kids are doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm doing. We don't actually ask, what's going well? Like, how are you feeling?
How are you feeling? Really feeling? Yes, the truth. Um, yes, and something you said sparked something, and then it went right back out. Yeah, just being grateful for yourself. And I just heard recently that, and I used to think this too, that venting was a great thing. And again, we did talk about ways of getting the energy out of your body. And the more you focus on something, the more you get of that. So if you're focusing on what you don't want, of the things that aren't going well in your life, there's a real propensity to get even more of that. So if you can shift that, if you can find something to be grateful for, even in the challenging situations in your life, um, it can shift things
Yeah.
in a more positive way for you, and then you end up with more positive things in your life and less negative.
Yeah, 100%. It's that easy to change the state. A different question, a different breath work, a different movement, a different room, even if you're in a situation, change your state and to create a more positive gratitude. And so, yeah, remember, it just takes a little bit of time to be able to make a big difference in your day. And so, taking those little small moments, like you said, are just so key to be able to bringing more peace and joy into our life. And ultimately, that's what we want, right? To be loved, accepted, have joy and peace in our life. Like, we make it really complicated in this human experience that we're having sometimes, but
Yeah.
ultimately, we're all wanting the basic things, right? So,
Yep, it does come down to just the simple steps. The more complex I don't know about you, but the more complex I make things, the less I'm literally apt to do them.
yep.
So the simpler they are, the easier they are to follow and to actually implement.
Kiss method, man.
The kiss. Yep. Keep it simple. Well, I know that we are over time this evening. So thank you, all of you that joined us. I saw several names that I know pop up. So I don't see any other comments or questions in the chat. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I am grateful for each and every one of you being in my life, and for Leona hosting this virtual book club on Facebook Live. And those of you that aren't live can watch it again, or that came in late can go back and watch the beginning of it. And please download your guide and book your free rapid release and get some freedom and be able to thrive this holiday season.
Yay. Thank you. Many blessings, hugs, love, peace, and happy
Love.
Thanksgiving. All so grateful and thankful for all of you, this platform, this community. Until next time, may peace be with you. Namaste.
Namaste.